Hello everyone, happy Republic Day. I welcome you all to this news analysis initiative. We will start from the first article for the day. See, the first article for the day is Nation honors 131 personalities with Padma Awards. I'll take this moment to talk about the awards, especially Bharat Ratna and Padma Awards together. See, first we will talk about Bharat Ratna Awards. See, Bharat Ratna, the highest civilian award of the country, was instituted in the year 1954. Any person without distinction of race, occupation, position, or sex is eligible for these awards, and it is awarded in recognition of exceptional service or performance of the highest order in any field of human endeavor. On conferment of this award, the recipient receives a sanat, which means a certificate signed by the president and a medallion. The award does not carry any monetary grant. See, Article 18, Clause 1 of the Constitution, the award cannot be used as a prefix or suffix to the recipient's name. See, if you take the selection process, recommendations for the award can only be made by the Prime Minister to the President, and with a maximum of 3 nominees are honored annually. Although no monetary reward accompanies this award, recipients receive a unique people leaf shaped medal and a certificate known as a Sanata. And in the hierarchy of Indian Order of Presidents, Bharat Ratna recipients hold the 7th rank. If you have a doubt that whether a naturalized citizen or any foreign citizen will receive this Bharat Ratna, there were precedents that naturalized citizen and foreign citizen have got these awards. For example, Mother Teresa, she is a naturalized citizen, and foreign citizens such as Abdul Ghaffar Khan, originally from British India, later a citizen of Pakistan, and Nelson Mandela, a citizen of South Africa. So all these three have received Bharat Ratna. Now, if you take Padma Awards, this is one of the highest civilian honor of India and are announced every year on the eve of Republic Day. And the awards are given in 3 categories: Padma Vibhushan, Bhushan, and Shri. And Vibhushan is for exceptional and distinguished service, and Padma Bhushan is for distinguished service of higher order, and Padma Shri is for distinguished service in any field of activity. However, there should be an element of public service in the achievements of the person to be selected for these awards. And the names of these awardees are published in the Gazette of India on the day of the presentation ceremony. So, if you look into the eligibility category, any person without distinction of race, occupation, position, or sex is eligible for these awards. However, serving government servants, including those working with PSUs, except doctors and scientists, are not eligible for these awards. So in general, the award is not conferred posthumously. However, in highly deserving and rare cases, the government could consider giving an award posthumously. If you take into the eligibility for a higher category of Padma Award, a higher category of Padma Award can be conferred on a person only where a period of at least 5 years has elapsed since conferment of the earlier Padma Award. However, an exception can be made by the awards committee in cases of rare and most exceptional achievements. So, who can nominate? The nomination process is open to the public. Even self-nomination can be made. What is the selection process? All nominations or recommendations received for Padma Awards are placed before the Padma Awards Committee, which is constituted by the Prime Minister every year. And no award is conferred except on the recommendation of the Awards Committee. The recommendation of the committee are submitted to the Prime Minister and the President of India for approval. The names are announced on the eve of Republic Day every year. So what will the recipients receive in this case? They will receive a certificate and a medallion. It is a small size replica of the main medal, which is separately handed over to the recipient. However, there is no monetary grant is attached to these awards. India UAE ties, stability, substance, and strategic union. See, at a time when world politics is very unstable, the relationship between India and the UAE is strong, stable, and steadily growing. This is what this article is saying. See, many countries are facing tensions, conflicts, and uncertainty. But India-UAE relations are different. They are consistent, calm, and improving year after year. The recent visit of the UAE president to India clearly showed the strength. Even though this visit was short, it was serious, focused, and produced real results. Now, what has changed since 2017? In 2017, India and the UAE signed a comprehensive strategic partnership. Since then, cooperation has expanded into almost every major sector. During the latest visit, both countries agreed on defense cooperation, joint work in space, artificial intelligence, and data centers, and a target of $200 billion trade. There is also infrastructure investment, small nuclear reactors, a supercomputing facility in India, and finally 10-year LNG gas supply agreement. See, what about the UAE investment in India? The UAE has been a serious long-term investor in India. As early as 2017, UAE's sovereign wealth fund invested $1 billion in India's infrastructure fund. Since then, UAE companies have invested heavily in roads, ports, energies, and cities. See, trade between India and UAE has grown rapidly after this comprehensive economic partnership agreement, and the trade has increased by 37%. India exports more and UAE imports more. So, both countries now aim for $200 billion trade by 2032, which looks achievable. And new initiatives include Bharat Mart in Dubai, Bharat Africa Setu to link India with African markets, a virtual trade corridor to make trade faster and smoother. These projects may also support big connectivity plans like the India Middle East Europe corridor. India and the UAE are also working together on civil nuclear energy. Since the UAE already produces a large share of electricity from nuclear power, it can share experience, help India meet its clean energy goals, and cooperate on small modular reactors and safety. See the next article for the day: Bigger Schools, Better Futures. The main idea of this article is very simple. Bigger, well planned schools can give children a much better future. See, in India, a typical government school has about 150 students. India has many small schools, often with very few children. But China, on the opposite, has used large school size to improve quality, not just numbers. Now, why large schools help learning? Because Chinese schools are big, they can provide separate teachers for each subject, support staff, science labs, computer labs, sports facilities, career counseling, and occasional training. Also, co curricular activities. This is exactly what India's National Education Policy 2020 talks about. But many Indian schools are too small to offer these things. See, India has done well in enrollment, getting children into schools, but the quality problem remains. About 5.6 lakh schools have less than 50 students. Over 1 lakh schools have only one teacher. This forces teachers to teach multiple classes together. Around 40% of secondary schools have fewer than 100 students. So the facilities are also limited. Only 19% of schools have computer labs. Only 51% have proper science labs, and very few schools offer occasional education. So the issue is not access anymore, it is quality and learning outcomes. See, many Indian states have started experimenting with bigger integrated schools. Examples like Rajasthan, one strong Adarsh school in each Gram Panchayat. Uttar Pradesh, if you take, there is this model composite schools where from class 1 to 12 in every district. If you take Madhya Pradesh, small schools are merged into large campuses. In Odisha, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, and Gujarat, similar consolidation efforts are going. So the idea is fewer schools but better schools. So the real goal is one teacher for each class, subject experts for higher classes, proper labs and learning spaces, equal opportunity for every child. To protect equity, transport facilities must be provided, local communities must be consulted, teachers and parents must be involved early in this process. So, how can we achieve this? Now, states must create their own roadmaps based on local conditions like proper teacher deployment, one teacher per class, local planning and decentralized decisions, reliable transport for students, funding through Samagra Shiksha and state schemes. So, the big takeaway from this article is India's next education reform is not just about opening more schools, but about building bigger, better, integrated schools that can truly support learning and future careers. See, the next important article for the day is Expectations from a Gender Lens in Budget 2026-27. See, this article says that India's growth is limited because women do not have time. Not because women are lazy or unwilling to work, but because most of their work is unpaid, invisible, and taken for granted. Now, what is women's time poverty? You can use these kind of keywords in your answer writing. Okay. See, women spend a huge part of their day on cooking, cleaning, fetching water, childcare, and elderly care. This work does not get paid or does not count in GDP. Because of this, women contribute only about 18% to India's GDP, not because they work less, but because their work is not recognized or rewarded. Now, why women are not in paid jobs? The data shows only about 40% of women are in the labor force. Among women who are not working, 60% say domestic and care work is the reason. So the real problem is lack of time, support and suitable jobs. So that's why this article says that the budget must help free women's time, not just spend money in women's name. So what budget 2026-27 should do? First, invest where women actually lose time. Even today, women's unpaid work time has not reduced. In fact, paid work time increased, but unpaid work time also increased. So women are working more overall, not less. If you take an example, PM Awas Yojana, which is a housing scheme. Yes, houses are registered in women's name, but that is not enough. A house should also have tap water, toilet, electricity and clean cooking gas. Only then a house save women's time. So the budget should automatically link housing with water, sanitation, power and gas schemes. Second, fix childcare and care services. Right now, creches, Anganwadis, nutrition schemes all work separately with overlap and gaps. This means women still struggle to leave home for work. So the suggestion is pool all childcare and care funds together. Measure success by hours of women's time saved, not number of centers opened. Third, create jobs specifically for women. Jobs don't automatically come to women, so the budget should ensure at least 50% of new jobs go to women. Give incentives to companies hiring women, provide social security and wage support. For rural women, strengthen the MNREGA program, increase work days, keep work close to home, and provide childcare at work sites. Number 4, help women grow businesses. Women run many small businesses, but most are very small, informal, and low income. So the problems are loans are too small, limited skills, poor market access, and safety and mobility issues. So the budget should support women to scale up, not just survive. Move them into formal, growth oriented businesses and go beyond these tiny loans. Number 5, prepare women for AI and digital jobs. Future jobs will be shaped by AI, automation, and digital platforms. Women risk being left out again. So, the budget should invest in women focused digital and AIs, ensure technology reduces drudgery, not increases the workload, and support women mentors and entrepreneurs in tech. So, the final message from this article is don't judge a budget by how much money it is spent in women's name. Judge it by how much women's time is freed, valued, and converted into income and choice. See, regarding this article, the issues surrounding governors' address, we have seen it in a holistic manner in the previous analysis, so I'm skipping this. See, the next article for the day, when can courts interfere in an ongoing investigation? First, what did Supreme Court say recently? In December 2025, the Supreme Court said something very clearly. Courts should not interfere in investigations as a routine matter. In the case from Uttar Pradesh, the High Court had ordered a time-bound investigation. It also gave protection from arrest. The Supreme Court cancelled this order and said time-bound investigation should be rare. Courts should step in only if delay itself causes serious harm. and giving protection from arrest without even quashing the FIR is usually not justified. So, when can courts interfere in an investigation? This was clearly explained earlier in a landmark case, Niharika Infrastructure versus State of Maharashtra. The Supreme Court said police have the legal right and duty to investigate, especially when a cognizable offense is mentioned in the FIR. Number 2, courts should not stop investigations normally. Investigation is the police job. Courts and police work in separate spheres. Number 3, courts can interfere only in exceptional cases. When the FIR does not disclose any offense at all, or when continuing the investigation would cause a miscarriage of justice. Number 4, quashing an FIR is a serious power. It must be used sparingly, not casually or routinely. So the rule is investigation first, court interference later, unless injustice is obvious. See the next article for the day, India-Europe Union showing a fractured world, another way to engage. See, this India-EU FTA is considered to be the mother of all deals. Okay, and this was started way back in 2007 and were restarted in 2022. And this have moved faster in the last 1 year. And one more thing you should be aware of is the European Union is India's largest trading partner in goods. And trade have crossed already $136 billion last year. See, once this trade is finalized, we will analyze this in detail. See, the next article for the day is Indian Navy Squadron boost maritime ties with Indonesia. See, Indonesia is a key country in the Indian Ocean region and a major member of the Indian Ocean Naval Symposium. And India wants to strengthen cooperation with friendly navies, maintain peace and security in the Indian Ocean, and promotes its maritime vision called Magasagar, that is Greater Maritime Cooperation. And this visit directly supports these goals. See, the ships involved were INS Tir, INS Shardul, INS Sujata and ICGS Sarathi. See the next article for the day, EXO Minor Planet Spotter. Now what is EXO Minor++? EXO Minor++ is an AI tool made by NASA to find planets outside our solar system. And these planets are called exoplanets. How does it find planets then? Space telescopes watch stars and record how bright they are over time. When a planet passes in front of a star, the star's light dips slightly. And this dip is a clue that a planet may be there. So EXO looks at these brightness graphs and checks, is the dip really caused by a planet or is it a false signal? However, not every dip in light means a planet. Some dips happen because of binary stars, star spots, instrument errors. So the main job of EXO Minor++ is to separate real planets from fake signals. Now what makes this EXO Minor a very special one? Most AI models are black boxes. They give an answer but don't explain why. But EXO Minor++ is different. It gives a score showing how likely it is to be a planet. It also explains why it thinks so. This helps scientists trust and verify the result. So what has it achieved so far? The earlier version, just EXO Minor, confirmed 370 new exoplanets. These planets were earlier uncertain cases. The new version, EXO Minor++, uses data from both Kepler and TESS space telescopes, and they can study many more stars at once and has already found about 7,000 possible exoplanet candidates in test data. See, with this photo shot, we will end today's discussion. See, what exactly are we seeing? These are green and red aurora lights which are spreading across Earth's horizon. First, what is an aurora? An aurora happens when charged particles from the sun hit Earth's atmosphere and interact with oxygen and nitrogen gases. This creates glowing lights, green which is mainly from oxygen and red from oxygen at higher altitudes. Now why is this special? Auroras are usually seen near the north or south poles. Seeing them over Europe means solar activity was strong, and capturing it from the International Space Station gives a rare and a wide view. So that's all for today. Thank you all for joining.